Alright, today I'm going to tell you about some new features in LitDB, which is integration of LiteLLM. When I first wrote LitDB, I had in mind it would be totally local, only using Ollama, and that works really well if you have really good hardware. So I'm running this on a Mac M4 Pro, which is a little desktop machine with 64 gigs of RAM and onboard metal silicon for GPU acceleration. And with that, I can use Llama 3.3, which is one of the biggest models available, and it does pretty well. But it doesn't work super well on my laptop, which only has 24 gigabytes of RAM. And so I thought, maybe I should investigate using cloud LLMs. And so that's what I'm going to show you today. So LitDB, let's just see what we're working with here. I'm going to show you what the content of my database looks like just to make sure that I'm in the right spot. So I have a 7 gigabyte database with about 72,000 articles that I've collected using the LitDB features. And we previously had LitDB space GPT, but now we have LitDB chat. There's also the GPT is still there for kind of backwards compatibility. It turns out we will be able to use the local one with the chat as well, and I'll get to that at the end. So right now I have set up my init file to have this Gemini 1.5 Flash as the model. You have to set up the some LLM keys. Let's just look at the help real quick. LitDB chat -- help. And this will give you, an idea. We have to set up the libdb.toml file to have an LLM section with the model. Here it says we have to use like these kinds of strings in there for the model, and you can use anything LiteLLM supports. I've tested it with Ollama, with OpenAI, Gemini, with Anthropic, anything that you want. Typically what you have to do is set an API key somewhere in your init files. And so this didn't print quite right. These should be on separate lines, but basically it's export OpenAPI or Gemini API key or Anthropic API key, etc. I didn't need to do anything special for Ollama, and otherwise that's all there is to it. Okay, so let's just jump in and see what happens. So this is going to launch an interactive chat, so I can say, find articles on yeast media optimization. And this is going to now send that to Gemini, and you see it runs pretty fast. This probably also runs fast on a laptop because it's not doing anything locally. So this is finding things that I found in my database before and chatting with me about it. So this gives you kind of a paragraph summary where LitDB vSearch would just find those articles. I can also, this is experimental and requires you to have PyAudio installed. This is a little bit tricky, like you have to install port audio and some other external libraries. But here I can just press enter, and then it's going to go to a microphone, record my prompt, and then search for it. So I'm going to press enter here in a moment and ask it about single atom alloys. Can you tell me how single atom alloys are different from regular transition metal alloys? So this is using Whisper AI from OpenAI, and you can see it got a very good description here, and it does some RAG. It looks up some of these articles, and then it gives me this little discussion. So those are like the basic ways that you can use this. Now there's a couple of fancier things that you can do, and I'll show you what some of those are. So one of the things that I invested in or figured out how to do was to do some prompt expansion. So you can have some special markup in your prompt that gets expanded before it gets sent to the large language model. And one example that you might want to look at here is, let's say I summarize this document and I have bracket, bracket, and a path to a PDF. Now, this bracket is borrowed from org mode syntax because it's an easy way to say anything in there is going to be a path. And I'm going to add this -- no rag because I don't want to look up anything in my database. So this is just going to expand that prompt now, and it does that with docling or assumes that you can read it, and then it tells you like what's in that document. So this is a paper that I wrote on data sharing in scientific publications. Took the PDF, converted it to text, and now we can use it. You can also use it on websites. Again, here I'm going to show you just the docs.litellm.ai. And again, no rag because we don't want to use that. The last thing you can do that is kind of fancy is multi-lines and adding shell commands. So let's try summarize this document with no rag. And I have to put a line continuation on here. I haven't figured out how to use Shift-Enter or something convenient in here. But now I'm going to use a fancy version here. We use a left angle bracket, and then we paste in PDF to text, and I'll use another PDF here. You can put any shell command you want in here that generates text, and it will get input. And then you have to press enter finally on one empty line, and here it goes through, and it is summarizing here that this commentary discusses the burgeoning use of machine learning. All those things are correct. I did talk about machine learning potentials and other kinds of things. Okay, so that's the main big change here. I'm going to go ahead and exit this and show you that if you want to choose a local model, you can. We just have to give it at the command line and give it a model name, same one of those strings. And now this is going to use the Ollama Llama 2, and it indicates that right here. And so let's see, tell me about yourself. And then it does that. This is just the output of Ollama 2. Oh, probably I should have said no rag because that looked about it. That's why it took so long. So that's the main features that I thought would be interesting to talk about. Now, there is one other thing. You might not like using the terminal. It's a little bit awkward. And so I finally figured out how to make an app. So this app is just using a little streamlit program, and it will launch a browser. And the browser starts up like this. It tells you we're using LitGPT, tells you a little bit about what database you're looking at. And now I can say single atom alloys with free atom electronic structure. And now that's going to look up some things, and it gives us the references that we found, and then you can go from here. Now the Streamlit prompt is not quite as fancy. I haven't built in a lot of the prompt expansion ideas or other things that the terminal has, but if you like using this interface, you can. And it looks like we can do things I haven't even tried yet. I don't know what record a screencast does. Let's just find out. This will record a video with the contents of your screen. Let's also record audio. Okay. Looks like I have to do some approvals. This might be specific to a Mac. Oh, and I have to quit and reopen. Oh, well, let's just try it. All right, let's see. Obviously, I didn't try this before. So now it's restarting, and let's see what happens. All right, press escape, choose what to share, Chrome tab, window, okay, so it's sharing, allow, all right. Let's do yeast media optimization, and there it's going along. Find some stuff. Looks good to me. I think it said just press escape or stop recording. All right. Let's do yeast media optimization. And okay. There it's going along. Find some. All right, I did very little work to get that. So if you had a need for making a video of your thing to share with somebody, you could. And then it looks like you can save it to a disk and then do something with it. I don't know what. Let's see what happens when I open it. All right. Let's do yeast media optimization. All right, so you could have your own video blog or something like that. Okay, those are the main new features in LitDB. Hopefully this works out of the box for you. The newest version will be available on pip pretty shortly, and you can use LitDB in new ways that you haven't seen before. All right, thanks for coming. See you next time.